from dummy half. Away from Stone. Way back. Around Vegas. Then around Collins. Mark Brumley's goal.
Last week, the wounded Roosters took the minor premiers all the way to the line.
Shot down. They're leading the race easily. Oh, this is going to be no football. He's been caught in goal. He threw the ball forward.
The Never Say Die Saints came off the deck to deliver a knockout punch on the bell.
And it's still a real chance. Brown is gone. It goes for Mundine from dummy half. Now for Coyne. Then for Bell. And Bell is drawn for the Dragons. The mousetrap play from dummy half.
But this time, there are no second chances. Sydney City versus St George in the Qantas final series of the Optus Cup. Right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
One spot remains open for next weekend's preliminary finals, and this afternoon as we welcome you to the Sydney Football Stadium, that will be secured by either the St George Dragons or the Sydney City Roosters. Cronulla's victory over Brisbane yesterday means that they will meet Manly next weekend. The winner today will take on North Sydney, and that of course would put the victors 80 minutes away from possible grand final appearance. And Paul Vorton, both of these clubs were involved in tight matches last week. In fact, the same scoreline, 16-14, a win to the Saints, a loss to the Roosters. Looks like another tight one this afternoon.
I expect so, Peter, and last week's games were also very physical encounters. The Roosters have had some injury problems. They've been well documented during the week. So as far as St George are concerned, they've got 13 fit red, white and blue players against them today. Two players to watch, I feel, from this game this afternoon are Tony Oro from the Roosters. He's been playing some good football, drifting out wide, looking for supports. I think they'll be targeting Adrian Brunker's wing. He had some problems there last week. And for the St George team, Anthony Mundine, everything good that happens for St George, he's involved. But for mine, Pete, it'll be the Roosters' day today.
And once again this afternoon, a very good tactical battle off the field with David Waite coaching against Phil Gould. And earlier today we spoke with Phil Gould and asked him what he expected from his team this afternoon.
Well, sudden death football again, and the Roosters know what that's all about. We're playing against St George today, and they've been one of the form sides in the second half of the competition. For us, we've really got to contain their forwards. They're big men, Goulet, Barnhill and Stone. If we give them too much space, then the likes of Brown, Goldthorpe and Mundine are going to get room to move, and we can ill afford that. The player who dominated in last week's game was, of course, lock forward Wayne Bartram. Scored a brilliant try from dummy half and was also dangerous out wide. We have to contain him. Our kicking game will be extremely important. I'll be looking to the likes of Lamb and Walker and Fittler to play the game at the St George's end of the field, and hopefully our defence can come up with a few mistakes. Again, it's going to be a close one. The Roosters are really hoping we can advance next week and play North Sydney.
Phil Gould, of course, has already tasted grand final success, coaching both Canterbury and Penrith to victory. He'll be hoping the Roosters can stay alive this afternoon. So for our second elimination semi-final, it's over to Ray Warren, the Roosters up against the Saints.
St George, one of the celebrated clubs, got away to a shocking start. The players going every which way. They basically didn't have a coach, and here they are. With Raper, Zissy, Coyne, Bell, Brunker, Mundine, Goldthorpe, Bartram, Goulet, Hardy, Phelps, Brown and Stone. That's young Nathan Brown, the blonde-headed. Number 16, he'll play a dummy half. And Steve Roach. Well, he hasn't got blonde hair, but he's on the sideline. Here he is.
It's overcast conditions down here on the sideline at the moment. Sydney City will run with the breeze in the first half, and they were going along beautifully the first 10 rounds until they met St George at Cocker's Jubilee Oval. And I remember that day that St George scored 3 tries from the dummy half area. The Sydney City side will have to tighten up around there. Expect Singh to run a lot more with the football today, along with Jorgensen and Junee.
Steve Roach will keep us abreast of things that are happening close to the action. Manson's the referee. Bartram starts. Not a big kick-off. Sydney City's Ivan Cleary. First man tackle with the football. First use of the ball with the team from Bondi Junction. St George inside the 10. 23 degrees forecast top in Sydney. That breeze from yesterday is not as evident. And apart from some vacant members' seats, it's a full house at the Sydney Football Stadium. Fittler into the back line. Walker comes in, taken out by Coyne. Well read by the St George captain. This is Julian Troy. Just inside the 30-metre line there. And a good ball from James Smith for Adrian Lamb. Garlick to the left. Fittler away for Iro. Iro menacing out wide. Clark. Fittler to the air. Not a bad kick. Oh, he had it. He lost it. A try. It's a try scored by Darren Judy. Shades of yesterday.
It is indeed. Cronulla got away to a similar start yesterday with Andrew Eddinghausen scoring the try. Today, Darren Judy has taken advantage of a fumble. It was a great kick from Brad Fittler because he was under pressure. St George getting up quickly, and the chase was good. Walker, in fact, was seen contesting the football. A mistake was made. Darren Judy, he won't score an easier one, but he...
And a tragic start for Nick Zisti. He only came into the side this week, replacing Ricky Walford. And he really was 2-on-1. There was no backup there for him. A good wide kick from Fittler to isolate Zisti. And there he is. Matt Singh got his hand in it. That was the thing. And the scraps came down June's way.
Zisti actually had the football, seemed to have it covered. And a very bright start from the Roosters. From the try, they really did put a lot of pressure on the defence. Beautiful little ball from James Smith to Adrian Lamb. Mark Coyne was forced to come up with an important tackle out wide previous to that. And now Ivan Cleary a chance to take the 4-6. A perfect start for the Tricolours.
15 in from the touch. 18 metres out, and he didn't strike it nicely. In fact, it's no goal. That is unlike Ivan Cleary. 4-0 then, Sydney City. He didn't get much help from his teammates, Zisti. He was out there like a shag on a rock. Nobody moved across to give him any cover at all, and it was so easy for Darren Judy.
We talk about the strength of the Cronulla kicking game, which again was so evident yesterday. The Roosters are very well served in that department. Andrew Walker, a beautiful kicker of the football, especially to get field position, and Brad Fittler so dangerous close to the opponent's line.
I do notice, Pete, that Adrian Brunker named in the number 5 jumper, playing in the centre with Mark Bell, the centre, on the right wing.
Troy then. Iro taken high.
Well, Iro is a danger man today. A good strong runner out wide. Been tackled high by Luke Felch. Touch judge has come in.
See the big number 10 come across. Gets Iro around the chin. You would imagine he will be placed on report, no further. And that has been confirmed from the sidelines. He's been placed on report. Both captains in attendance. Just a little bit of over-exuberance there from the young front rower. Fairly careless.
Sydney City off the boot of Andrew Walker, finding the touchline at the halfway, and then Lamb goes across for James Smith, and that was also pretty close to being high from Scott Goulet, and the other tackler was Luke Felch. Now Troy is taken by Goldthorpe in the front line of defence. Dummy half, just lost the plot there for a moment. Sean Garlick. This is Darren Juni. Mundine's calling for help on the St George right of the ground. Fittler turning it back in. Oh! Almost opened up for the Roosters and Ivan Cleary on the 40-metre line. James Smith. Troy. Just getting some... It's Ricketson, in fact. Getting some go forward from the engine room. Oh. Timely test on Dean Reaper. touch judges come across from the far side.
Well, you think this would go against St George?
Yeah, Mark Bell interfered with a player from the Roosters when Ivan Cleary nearly sliced through. I really think that if he's coming 2 rucks later, here you'll see Bell's he's the furthest St George player, and all he's done is push a man who was looking to back up. In fact, it was Peter Clark, and that was a long time ago. And
you wouldn't bother, would you?
No, I wouldn't think so.
He wasn't involved in the play, never looked like being involved in the play. So that's a half decision has gone against St George, I reckon.
And if Cleary had got his hands free and was waiting there for a player to arrive, yes, but the play had finished.
We could debate it, I suppose, but we won't. Damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you've got a whistle. Garlic then. The high row, and it's been knocked off. So back we come. 4 points to 0. Sydney City getting a very early try for Darren Juney. There it is coming out. Luke Ricketson trying to play the ball. Scrum inside the St George 20-metre line. The back of the scrum collapsed. This was Raper, the fullback. Mundine, a dummy half. Far from getting his first touch of the football. And now Goulet, who really had a great game against Sydney City at Cogra when St George ended the Roosters winning run. They put 10 wins back-to-back, and St George ended that with a 24-8 victory in round 11 at Cogra. And that day, Scott Goulet had a blinder. As they get the penalty now, the 7 is Goldthorpe.
That's the Saints' first penalty, 3-1 against them. And it's timely as well because they've been under lots of pressure early in this game. Now a chance to get together a little bit of possession and take the ball into the Roosters half through Luke Frost.
Brown. Hardy. And he's lost it. Going to put a scrum down, so St George, their own worst enemy at the moment.
Roosters players appealing there, led by Peter Clark to the touch judge. He gave the call to the referee. Jeff Hardy was in the football fairly early in the tackle count.
Hardy today, you'll find, will be used as a running forward. Rather than dummy half, I had a whisper in the ear that Goldthorpe prefers Brown at dummy half. Troy put down right in the centre of the ground.
An enormous loss for the St George side today. That man in the stands, David Barnhill, him being out has necessitated the changes for Hardy and Brown. But he will be missed. He's been their best forward. The St George side get a penalty here. The rule that he called ball to be played, and it was passed by Tony Iro.
It was obviously called held, but Tony Iro was being forced backwards at a rate of knots by 3 St George defenders. He probably felt he was entitled to offload.
So really this puts St George back where they were at the time when Hardy knocked on. Felch is put away on the 30-metre line. Now Stone. Brown. Andrew Walker, the number 6, making the tackle. Goldthorpe. Goulet. Brown. Goldthorpe to the 20-metre line. Mundine. Felch. Brown again. Mundine. Short pass for Stone. Played in the first rep matches of the season. This is tackle 5. Brown, the Goldthorpe boot, came off the back of Adrian Lamb, knocked on by Julian Troy. That's a very big play for St George.
They look pretty good, St George. They've got the football. A couple of nice short balls from Anthony Mundine to his big mobile forwards out wide. Look at the numbers they've got out here, St George. If they could have got the ball out, it was try time. Matsing had come up very quickly in defence.
He was a mile offside there, Brad Fittler. Break very early.
Goldthorpe in. Hardy. Helped to the ground by Walker. Felch. Chance on the left for St George. Brown goes himself. Saints are regrouping on the right. Goldthorpe comes across where most of his team was. Mundine away. Stone was there. Clark has got him. Five tackle. Mundine. Here's a chance. Mark Bell will score. Bell has got it down. St George are in.
Well, the changes paid dividends for St George. Paul Bolton has pointed out that Mark Bell was named in the centres. He's playing on the right wing, and beautiful football here from that man to control the kick from Anthony Mundine. He's onside, no dramas with that. Jorgensen just got lost there, got a little bit of a push in the back. Bell never took his eyes off the football, batted it up in the air and got the ball down. Excellent try.
He's a prolific try scorer, is Mark Bell. Been scoring them all through his career for Canberra and West, now at the mighty Saints. A little tap down to himself. And they're back to the mighty Saints, 4-all.
That's great skill. Getting up high, right hand extended, took it and got it down very quickly with the attention of Ivan Cleary. And what about the amount of tries that we're seeing scored during this Qantas final series through the kick? Shows how good the defence is. The kick is such a dangerous weapon these days.
It's his half-century of tries in a career that has carried him. Now, what's happened here? There's one of the Sydney City players on his back in the in goal. Somebody is saying that he's been hit with a missile from the crowd.
Looks like it's Darren Junee. Showing some concern, obviously, up around the head neck area, and he has been hit from some section of the crowd. And
I'm looking into the area behind the dead ball through the binoculars, and the security are taking away a male member of the public.
well, he should never be allowed into any sporting ground ever again.
Have either of you boys got a problem with Bell pushing the Sydney City player in the back?
No, I don't.
From the sideline, Bartram. And it was very low and offline eventually. So 4 points all after 13 minutes.
At Optus, we're only 4 years old, but already we've touched the lives of millions of people. Through bringing people closer together, that life will get better. That's what we're here for.
And what do we have here?
The new Hyundai Sonata.
Not your ordinary family car.
Hardly. Power windows, power steering. Airbag, Hyundai's 3-year, 100,000 kilometre warranty. Look at the space. Power powerful 2-litre fuel-injected engine, or the option of a V6.
And so quiet.
And still, from $24,990, drive away, no more to pay. Great looks, great value.
All day, every day, Hyundai.
Come and be surprised by the Hunter region of New South Wales. We'll do wonders for you. Discover the pleasures of our beautiful beaches and have fun on our waterways. Search out the life of our vineyards. Ride our hills and valleys. Share special moments with friends and make some new ones. The Hunter, just 2 hours from Sydney. We'll do wonders for you. Call your travel agent or 1320 77.
Red leader to flight, please advise fuel status. Yeah, okay. No problem.
Low on time and low on fuel? Try Mobile Card Express. First, swipe your card, then fill up, and you're away.
Red 4, please advise fuel status.
Red leader, fuel is A-OK.
Card Express, fastest way to pay at the pump at Quicks and mobile service stations.
Rock and roll is big business. You need secretaries, faxes, internet, stock prices, the latest Reuters news, conference rooms, electronic whiteboards, and you've got to look flash. Like the song goes, there's no business like, well, there's certainly no business centre like the Qantas Club Business Centre in Sydney.
In tonight's edition of National 9 News, Sydney Olympic logo gets the thumbs up. A test that can reduce the rate of cervical cancer, and a stunt plane crashes in America.
National 9 News with Ian Ross tonight.
Back to the halfway for the next session. Walker. That's the kick-off. Brought back by Nick Zisti. Brunker. 14 and a half minutes gone. Goldthorpe sweeping it across the park. Barker with a short ball. Hardy the same. Filches with it. What a passing. Almost unnecessary stuff. They went nowhere. Very high risk factor involved.
Some passing, 5 passes to get to a front rower standing flat-footed.
Absolutely. Inside your own 20 metres, though. Doesn't sound like good business to me. Goldthorpe then gets a kick in. That's got a bit more sanity about it. Cleary. Driving defence by the St George Chasers, Coyne and Hardy. Clark. Edwin Lamb. Fittler. I get the impression watching Fittler run today, he is freer, although now he's clutching at the groin.
Oh, McGravitt.
Well, can you believe that?
Oh, it's not the train.
Can you believe that?
Well, he did try and put on one of his trademark big steps in that little movement as Iro goes across field, looks for support.
Well, the ball was contested there by St George, and they've come up with it. Mark Bell has come up with valuable ball. 35 metres away from the Roosters line. Filch. Brown. Goldthorpe. Face pass. Goulet. Down by Darren Juney. Keep your eyes on Fittler, boys. Zisti now.
6 again, signalled.
He's coming off, Fittler.
Fittler's gone. He's coming off the park. Away it goes, out to the right for St George. Hardy is put away. Mundine. Goldthorpe looks inside then. Runs towards his winger on the blind. Coyne with a crawling effort. Then Mundine. Now Stowe. Hardy's behind him.
Oh, he had to let it go.
Hardy in the in goal, and so close for Jorgensen.
Well, they're playing very well, St George. They've got to start taking the blinkers off and have a look around to see who's outside them. Troy Stain then. They had a 4-man overlap. It would have been try time. This is the last passage with Hardy. A neat little grubber into the in goal. Not handled too well from Jorgensen. He got it back. But Fittler's gone. Shane Millard went on to replace him.
The drop out from Walker. Bounces it way down for Gurley to take it back and reach the Roosters 40-metre line. Goldthorpe for Raper. Paul Dunn is out there now. Smith is off. Bartlett. Paul was talking about they've got to take the blinkers off. Mundine and Hardy combining. That sometimes indicates that the playmaker is of the silent variety. I don't know that to be true about Goldthorpe. Brown. Goldthorpe with it now. Wide. Kicking. Looking for Brunker. Up they go. Down they come. It's another try. The number 5, Adrian Brunker.
Well, the wing is having a field day. Adrian Brunker, he obviously sat at home last night and watched Richard Barnett do exactly the same thing in exactly the same corner for the Sharks. A beautiful kick. They get nice and deep in attack, St George. And Noel Goldthorpe, precision over the head of Darren Junee. The leap was a great one from Adrian Brunker. He's their leading try scorer this year, and that is why.
And the kick has become the most potent attacking weapon in rugby league in the 90s. There's a perfect example of it. Brunker had some problems in defence last week on the wing. He can have less so in the centres. That's why I think David Waite switched him in there. And he's come up with a great try to the Dragons.
And the reason that the kick is so successful in those circumstances, as Paul, you pointed out yesterday, the catcher, who was turned around there, has got no momentum. He's basically standing there waiting for the ball to come down. We saw on that occasion both Nick Zisti and the try scorer Adrian Brunker coming in. They've got the leap on him. They're able to get much more height and momentum through that.
They have got, Peter, when you think about it, it's a tremendous advantage, haven't they, the Chasers? It all basically depends on the kicker. If he lays the right foundation, the attacking side has got so much going for it. Bartram from 9 in from touch. Strikes it. It's okay. The flags are up. St George. 10 points to 4 after 20 minutes.
On a current affair, they still call Australia home.
We will all become too blue.
But critics say some migrants just won't mix.
Wake up, Australia, before it's too late.
So are we giving them a fair go?
Vilify ethnic communities and create hatred.
Or are our immigration policies too soft?
They should assimilate to the norms of Australian society.
Plus the tricks and traps of the jewellery trade.
The diamond is supposed to be forever.
The flaws behind the glitter, bodgy valuations, even swapping stones.
Yes, they are being duped.
Also the new technique to beat back pain.
I feel better already.
This week on A Current Affair.
For over 40 years, the Holden Ute's been a legend. And now it's even better, with more power and comfort than ever before. It'll work hard all day and play hard all night. The new Holden Ute V6 or V8.
Struck it lucky today.
Yeah, I reckon.
A legend for generations.
Over long periods of time, you look at most asset classes and the best performances come out of share markets. Mind you, that's where you have the most volatility. And that's why we encourage people to take a long-term view. Because if you look at most investors, they do get the timing decisions wrong. So the least timing decisions they make, entry and exit, the more likely they benefit from share markets.
See your financial advisor or call BT.
Travellers once went to airports, Hong Kong or Singapore for the best duty-free deals, but now they're heading for a city where the Panasonic video camera with 4-inch colour screen and 140 times digital zoom is only $1,599, and the Pentax SPO compact camera with autofocus and zoom lens is just $399. So what's the best city for duty-free? This city, City International Duty Free.
Australia's #1 duty-free store.
You can accept defeat, or you can stare at it until defeat blinks and walks away.
Let the Hunter do wonders for you with a night at the luxurious Cypress Lakes Resort from just $83 per person, including breakfast. Call 1-800-06-1818 or the New South Wales Travel Centre.
Straight there, it's going like a steam train.
So does it?
Do you mind if I smoke, Aldi?
Nothing's as good as an Oak Classic. Real taste, really creamy. Oak Classic. The break worth waiting for.
Steve Roach will get him to check on Brad Fittler what the story is there, I'm sure. Walker placing it. Walker starts us again, and it is Zisty bringing it back. Now, let's go to Steve Roach. What's the story on Brad Fittler? Will he be back?
Well, what they're going to do is let him cool down for 20 minutes and see if it does come good. It's a groin injury again. I don't think we'll see him for the rest of this half. If he's any good at half-time, they'll send him back. But just on those kicks, Ray, before I go back to you, it's almost exclusively for wingers now. Fullbacks are really put out of play. You see every kick that's put into play aimed at the wingers.
Yeah, you're right, Steve. The winger today is the man that is under the spotlight.
And the important thing with the kick, as we see Noel Goldthorpe get one away on the last tackle towards Peter Jorgensen's wing, is the fact that you don't want it to go too high. You want your chasers arriving at the same time as the ball's coming down. And that's where these kickers are doing such a great job. The 3 tries we've seen already this weekend, the chaser has got there just as the ball's landing.
Campion is on now. Brown is off. That tackle has brought a roar from the crowd. Was it a high shot? Troy put down by St. George defence, which is very urgent. Now, hesitation, see Walker over on the blind side. He's called in a bit late, and then it's been watched over the sideline by Raper. Dean Raper is reading a story today, this match. He's dedicated to his very close friend Adam Ritson. They were very close buddies. And Dean, in the column, which I found interesting to read, was dedicated this one to Adam today. Bill Gould would have to be a very worried coach. The scoreboard's not helping him. He's lost arguably his best player. Well, there would be no argument about that. Arguably the best player in the world is gone for the moment. The furrows across the forehead of Phil Gould has just got a bit deeper. As Bartram plays it back for Mundy. The running forward is Troy Stone, who has, as I said, witnessed the ecstasy and the agony of a year in rugby league. He was repping at the start of the year, and then he got the chop last weekend.
It is a very positive sign for St. George to see Anthony Mundine come looking for the ball so often. He's been a dummy half a lot at first receiver. That's forward from Noel Goldthorpe. Option of running the football in the last, and you've got to blame Adrian Brunker. You must give your first receiver the option to run the football on the last tackle. Brunker didn't do so. Mundine getting involved around the ruck area is going to cause problems for the opposition.
Now Sydney City with a chance. They really haven't had a smell of the attacking zone since they scored 2 minutes into the game. This is Millard in 15. Just inside the 20-metre line. To the left for Lamb, who had to reach out to pull it in. Walker. His kick is high. There's a chance on. It got batted forward by the attacking side, but it's a penalty. He's ruled they were in front of the kicker.
Well, this will be interesting because on the dropout, they would have got the ball back, the Roosters. Matt Singh, the man called offside, touch and go. So the decision's gone against the Roosters.
It was a bit unfortunate for Matt Singh because the kicker gets a little bit of traffic before he could get the ball away. And that just allowed Matt Singh to run in front of him. As Noel Goldthorpe finds touch, settling out from his own line. Lance Thompson about to take the tap now, has come into the game off the bench.
Another example there on that replay with David Manson giving the penalty to St George of what the touch judge is expected to give his centre man these days. If you watch the replays and the centre man's arms are by his side, then he is saying to the referee that you've got an offside player. If he holds one up horizontal to the ground, he's saying it's all clear to go. So David Manson didn't really have the call back there. That's the point I'm making. It was a touch judge call that saw the penalty go to St George, and now they've made some very big inroads down to the 20-metre line. Steve Roach on the sidelines.
Yeah, look, we've really got to give a rap to Troy Stone. Unfortunately, he was left out of the side last week after playing 22 rounds for St George. He's taken it the right way, and he also got man of the match last week in reserve grade, so he really can hold his head up today. He's playing very well for his team.
Has a marvellous effect, doesn't it? A week watching the first grade go round without you. 14 for Sydney City is Riggin.
Well, as Blocker points out, you can react two ways, I suppose. You can be disappointed and frustrated by it, or you can react positively like Troy Stone did in coming up with that man of the match performance. Of course, with the injury to Jason Stevens last week, Stone was there to step straight in. And the coach had no hesitation bringing him into the starting lineup.
Ward has gone on for St George. Luke Felch is off. And Walker sending it down to Raper. Raper with a run of 15, 20 metres before Junie brings his progress to a halt. That is Zisti over the top of Dunn before Walker makes the tackle. The red-headed number 14 is Lance Thompson. Mundy. Now Barton. The end of the St George career of Anthony Mundine and Scott Goulet today. If they get beaten, Mundine for the Broncos, Goulet for today's opponents.
And no surprise here to see St George opting to take the kick 35 metres out in front. Wayne Bartram, an opportunity here to put his side 8 points clear. A little bit more pressure on the Roosters, having to score twice. The Roosters will be disappointed with that set of 6 there because they gave away a penalty late in the tackle count. 7 champions a champion.
So who do the Roosters look to now that their best player is off the field? Adrian Land's trying very hard in the middle of the field, trying to get something going, but Tony Iro's the man for mine. He's playing all right, actually, Tony. He's drifting out wide, looking for the runners, but so far today, there's been no runners for him. There's been no angle changes out there. They need to give him 2 or 3 options out there.
They haven't had a lot of opportunities either, Paul, looking at the tackles. They've been required to make about 25% more tackles than St George, which indicates they haven't had the football nor the opportunities.
And that's really turned around because early in the game, they'd had to do far fewer tackles, Sydney City. They had 6 tackles up against 20 on at one stage.
Bartram's kick, and it's wide. But he got it to go dead. We'll take a break. 10 points to 4. St George over the Roosters.
In tonight's edition of National 9 News, Sydney Olympic logo gets the thumbs up, a test that can reduce the rate of cervical cancer, and a stunt plane crashes in America. National 9 News with Ian Ross tonight.
Sailing the world single-handed can get pretty lonely, but I had friends with me along the way. The friendly red tail in the sky. I used their flight schedule to check my coordinates at sea. I knew I was on course and on schedule because I knew Qantas would be. It made me feel comfortable out here, but never quite as comfortable as up here.
Series 2. The best has been made better. There's nothing quite like a Holden.
Reflexes of a steel trap. Yeah, he's got him. He still drinks Powerade, though. Because being quick to react means nothing if you don't have the power to keep coming back. Powerade. Power on.
Australia's strength has always been in its ability to grow through change. We know this because as Australia was growing up, so were we. And just as we were there for Australia in the past, we are committed to being there in the future, wherever that future may be. And so we're finding new ways to make your banking as simple and convenient as possible. There is a bank that will always do more to help improve the lives of Australians. Which bank? Commonwealth Bank. Working for your future.
To tilt the playing field in favour of your team, you need to give them a very competitive edge. With Intel Pentium processors, Toshiba is expanding your horizons.
Tuesday, the truth about cats
Oh, geez, a monster.
and dogs.
Now, that's a cute puppy.
A painful visit to an equine dentist.
Whoa, whoa.
And a hairy-nosed wombat with an itchy ear. Headed on Tuesday, Animal Hospital on 9.
Station still with us. The 20-metre drop kick has to go 10 metres forward, and it does that well and truly as Lance Thompson comes back to the halfway line. Mark Coyne, the captain. Colin Ward. Half an hour gone in the game. And St. George, they were trailing 4-0 after 2 minutes. They're in front, 10 points to 4 now. Brunker down the blind side. Zisti a dummy. Puts a grubbing kick in. Oh, very, very close. Cleary just there in time.
Yeah, he nearly got it back. It's good to see wingers taking the chances every now and then. Nice little grounding, some strong defence. Look, goes on his own. Lamb let it go. Tried to act as a shield. He's only just got that, Cleary.
And while Paul was talking, that Troy Stone, I reckon he shook every part of Junie's anatomy. I was watching his entire body was ricocheting. Stone hit him with a cork. 5 tackles gone. Walker's kick to clear. And bouncing across the sideline. Andrew Walker held his breath for a moment. Let's have a look at that tackle I was talking about. Juni's the ball carrier. Stone, hit him. Juni's body sort of cracked like a whip.
Ricochet, Robbie. Ricochet.
It's a good racehorse. That fullback deputy for Queensland's going today. And for two sides again. Mundy. Goldthorpe. Bartram. Wrapped up by Walker from behind, then Brown delivers for Goldthorpe to give on for Ward in 15 to take it to the centre of the ground. Not by his own choice. Iro was the man pushing. Goldthorpe keeps it low, rolls it down into the corner. Beautifully picked up by Darren Juni. He's a very cool. And another solid hit by Troy Stone.
It's another ricochet.
The Roosters then, back to the 10 metres. Matt Singh. And it's not Matt's problem, but you could be excused for wondering, was he in the game? James Smith is back on. Him with the ball underneath Stone and Brunker. Walker for the clear. Brown trying to put the pressure on. And Dean Raper thought about it and then pulled away from it. The faces on some of these kids. The youth playing first grade today. 6 points the margin. 33 minutes gone. Matt Singh in the headgear, walking wounded Jason Lowry with the sunglasses. Monday using the winger Zisti, who would be feeling a bit better now than he would have 30 minutes ago. He was one of the wingers from this weekend of football that would have been feeling sick in the bottom of the stomach. But it's come back okay for St. George. Thompson. Coy.
We had the Roosters coach Phil Gould on the footy show earlier today, and he said that the team that wins the battle of the play the ball area will generally go on and win the game because the other aspects of their play will fall into place. At the moment, St. George are well on top in that department.
Well, St. George are well on top in every department, Peter. Defensively, they're hitting a lot harder, a lot stronger, and a lot more options in attack. The Roosters, they're in a bunch. They don't know what they're doing. They're corridoring up the field, and someone out there has got to take control for them.
And you did ask that question, who it would be. You said this man, Tony Iro, really had to stand up. Adrian Lamb has got to get in and start dominating their attack. He's got to get the first receiver more often than not and just direct the players around the park, get them back on track, because since Fittler has gone, there's been a discernible change in their rhythm.
Raper returning it to the 40-metre line. Then Goldthorpe. Bell has come in from the right wing. One of the St. George try scorers. Now, St. George about 3 metres into Roosters territory.
And Mundine was nearly away. Great tackle from Adrian Lamb in cover.
Kevin Campion taken in an orthodox tackle by Garlick. Zelch makes a deep inroad. 28 metres out from the line. Brown to the blind side. Cleary. Wasn't a good kick from Nathan Brown.
Nathan Brown, he does come up with a lot of dusty kicks out of dummy half. Every now and then, very positive one, but with Noel Goldthorpe in the side, especially having the run of luck that he's having in this game, Goldthorpe, he's got to be the man they look for. Nathan Brown just handed possession to the opposition.
Which takes me back to that point I was trying to make earlier. I sometimes wonder whether Noel is a quiet number 7 playmaker, and certain blokes get to dummy half and they don't hear him, and they're left to their own devices. Walker. Zisty and Raper are back there. Zisty is the man that will return it beyond the 20-metre line. That's a good run. He really put his hand up there, Nick Zisty. Raper picked up and put away by Walker. He's very strong, Andrew Walker. Colin Ward. Goldthorpe away from dummy half. They're not frightened to run from dummy half, St George. Brown behind Thompson, then for Campion, now for Mundine. Mundine locks it over the top. It's play on for Bell. Bell kicks ahead. St George are leading the race. St George are going to score. It's Mark Coyne. Mark Coyne has scored. St George have taken a real grip on this one.
And not far out from half-time, so it's a telling blow. Beautiful work here. A little bit of a shepherd there from Nathan Brown. Throws the second man pass. Now, this pass is a beauty. If he frees play there, you can see that the Roosters winger has been forced to come up. The pass over the top, put Bell into space. The play continued. Bell was able to take the Mundine ball. Now, he had Mark Coyne on the inside, but the better option was to kick because Peter Jorgensen had Mark Coyne covered. And Coyne had enough speed and enough coolness under pressure not to panic when the ball was close to the line. He picked it up and took it over.
Well, he's probably the most experienced player out there, Mark Coyne. He knew what to do. The Roosters' defence was all over the place. They were short. Lamb didn't know whether to drop back or come up from the line. He was caught in two minds. The gap opened up. Bell's on his own out here. Good little tactic. He was taken out by Cleary, but Manson had real play on. It was just up to Coyne to just get the ball and put it over. Well done.
A couple of very subtle pieces of play in there were beautiful to watch. Mark Coyne getting his body position between the ball and the eastern suburb chaser meant that he was always going to be first there. The pass from Kevin Campion to Anthony Mundine was a pearler.
So here's Wayne Bartram now on the sideline. 21 out. And there it goes. Is it going to make it? Yes, it is. I thought it might have been short. But 16-4. St George giving it to Sydney City.
And don't forget this pass from Anthony Mundine either. They tell us that he's a very good basketballer. And he's just come up with a beautiful one over the top there to get Mark Bell into space. Ivan Cleary put the hip into Bell.
That's okay.
And the chase was always going to be led by Mark Coyne. The only doubt, and I don't like putting doubts on tries, but Nathan Brown's dummy half work, it did hint of a shepherd. But Mark Coyne slamming the ball down.
What about the security guard sitting back there? You reckon he's not barracking for St George? Here's another bust. Zisty to the halfway.
Oh, that's his first mistake.
What a run by Zisty. He's having a big game after that first infringement. He's a big, strapping young player. Played formerly for South Club. Darren Janine makes a mistake of giving him some room on the outside, but in actual fact he ran straight over the top of him. Thought he should have passed right here to Goldthorpe because Goldthorpe was away. He's hung on to it, and a good tackle has forced him into touch.
So the siren in the background. This is the last play. And Matt Seaman is put down. There is no happiness here for Sydney City. Brad Fittler, will he come out? Since he left, the wheels have fallen off. Saints have capitalised. And this great club looking for an appointment with North Sydney. 3-4. Here's the break. We're back in a moment.
You know, this really takes me back. I remember watching Mike in black and white. I was too young to watch these cops, especially the big one. I think I must have been about 7 when this lady first made my parents laugh. And as for Pete, well, I think he was on TV before there even was TV. And ever since I was 12, I've always wanted to do this to this guy.
What are you talking about, Nicky?
Monday, the fun begins with Sale of the Century's 40 years of television on Channel 9.
You got the look. You got the look. You got the look. The look is now. Yeah, looks you love and great ideas for free. Yeah, Preston's got the looks for me. Yeah, Preston, you got the look.
It's no good giving the performance of a lifetime one night, then ruining it all the next. It's all about performance, which is why I'm with MLC. Their investment approach really works. They've given competitive returns year after year. You either have it or you don't. For my money, MLC's a hard act to follow. So, if money matters, talk to MLC.
I'm 74 years old, and what I know about computers, my granddaughter taught me. At the moment, I'm putting together our family history, showing good times and bad. And while I don't see my grandkids that much, I'm in touch with them most days via the internet.
Serving the net pop?
Yes, I am. It's an exciting time to be alive.
Or you can stare at it until defeat blinks and walks away.
Let the Hunter do wonders for you with a night at the luxurious Cypress Lakes Resort from just $83 per person, including breakfast. Call 1-800-06-1818 or the New South Wales Travel Centre.
Didn't get any green, let's go. Max, quickly. He died on his birthday, poor puss.
Nothing's as good as an Oak Classic. Real taste, really creamy. Oak Classic, the break worth waiting for.
David Manson is ready then for the start of the second half. St George going into this period of play with a 12-point advantage, and Brad Fittler is in the Sydney City side. We thought that his day was over, his season was over probably, but Brad is out there.
Yeah, and he's struggling already. He's just made 2 tackles. He's limped out of play. I don't know how long this valiant effort can continue for Fittler. I don't like to point out the obvious, but it's realistic that if St George are the next point scorers in this game, there's no doubt they will win.
This is Mundy then. We'll go down to Steve Roach in just a moment for his half-time report. Old Goldthorpe's kick is very high, and this is Jorgensen, one of the rugby union converts who've done so well for Sydney City this year. Talking about wingers these days having as much pressure, if not more, than the fullbacks. Sydney City have come through with flying colours in Juni and Jorgensen. Now Walker, as we watch the replay, and the reason for the penalty, has found the line on the halfway. And this is Julian Troy. And he's lost the ball, so St. George will have the loose head and the feed.
I actually think that it was a forward pass called against Adrian Lamb. On to Luke Ricketson. And I think the touch judge has given the referee the call, and I don't agree with it.
Not right. Campion took a couple of heavy shoulder charges, but nobody thought about wrapping their arms around him. Now St. George, the back line is flowing. Brunker will play it. Bartram dummies and keeps going to the 10-metre line. Don't be surprised if they aim at Brad Fittler. Goldthorpe. Felch.
Especially if they can get Mundine one-on-one with Fittler.
Now they come down the blind side. He's going to get there first. He does. Mark Bell. He's a try-scoring wizard.
And it's another try from a kick. It's a kickathon here at the SFS today. Tries all over the place from kicks. 5 in a row. And surely that is the end of the Roosters.
And what a combination. Mundine and Mark Bell. He kicked for Bell's first try. He's done it again for the second. Too tough for Jorgensen to turn and chase. Tony Iro's a big man. He found it difficult to get back there. And we'll just see here Mundine committing Lamb. In fact, it's Mark Coyne who kicks the football. Going up to Peter Clark. And Mark Bell getting downward pressure. 2 tries today, 51 in his career. He's been at 3 different clubs.
One thing about Mark Bell, big Artie in the crowd, and of course his allegiance is very much with the red, white and blue side. Mark Bell makes you feel good though when you get up in years a bit. He's no chicken. 51 tries in his career, 2 of them today.
This kick is not too far away from where Wayne Bartram had one to win the game against Canberra last week. Steve Roach wanted him to come left to right. He went right to left. He might go right to left again this Arvo, big fella.
Yeah, I tell you what, when you get the knife in the blade, you keep screwing it. Bartram's missed it. Now talking of Steve Roach, we'll go to him in a moment. St. George 20, Sydney City 4. And it was Mundine out from dummy half. He drew 2 defenders. Coyne rolled it in. Bell put his hands on it. And St. George extend their lead. Now, Stephen, what can you tell us?
You're right on the stroke of half-time. Brad Fittler got a needle and went out the back and tried to warm up again. And he came back in and said that he was right to go back onto into the second half. I think that was trying to lift the Eastern Suburbs teammates. But Phil Gould, he said, look, our short passing game early in the match really troubled the big St. George pack, and we got away from it. We've got to go back to doing that. He said, we've really got to be positive and really be able to dig deep now. He asked for a few more options out wide in attack. He said not enough players are in motion. For St. George, he'd like to see his wingers with more support when the high ball does go up. More depth in attack. They're a little bit of flat coming out of their own end.
Beautiful pass by Goldthorpe. He knew they had the numbers out wide on the right, St. George. Mundine steers the attack down the blind side. Campion got it away for Bartram. 5 tackles gone, the Dragons. Now they're deep across, and now the kick from Goldthorpe. Sydney City then clearing the danger.
Those short side rushes from St. George are so effective. That kind of defence with 5 blokes getting involved. And Kevin Campion, he's come off the bench in this game. He was named as one of the 5 fresh reserves last week. Didn't get a run, but he's just having a super game. And Luke Ricketson, strong charge taken by Brown.
Fittler. How's he going to come through that?
No, he's got to come off, Brad. No one's ever doubted Brad Fittler's courage, but it'd be stupid to stay out there and maybe do some damage.
Charge down, and they've come up with it, Sydney City. 6 more tackles have been ruled.
No, he didn't know, Peter Jorgensen. He's kicked the footy.
Raper comes back to the halfway line. Fittler's coming off again.
And a penalty. It's all happening out there, Bill. That's the right decision made by Brad himself. He knows that he needs obviously some surgery. It'll be a long off season for him, but he's done his best for the Roosters today.
Julian Troy. Tackle on Colin Ward.
Julian Troy, of course, he's only playing his third run-on game in the top grade for the Roosters. And I can't believe that hasn't been placed on report. Good news coming through today for Cronulla team and their fans, both Paul Green and David Boughton. No case to answer from yesterday's match. We already have Luke Felch on report this afternoon. Julian Troy, very, very lucky to be joining the front row in that area. Wayne Bartram lines up this kick, 33 out, 15 to 20 in from touch.
Whichever way you look at this St George effort, it has been an incredible one. And the Bartram kick is there. 22 points to 4.
Good evening. A protest today on the streets of Bondi over the suburb's growing crime rate. Locals called for the main street to be closed at certain times and for the building of a new police station. Claims the CIA has spent $100 million funding Iraqi and Kurdish dissidents to depose Saddam Hussein. A new technique to detect cervical cancer is about to be introduced worldwide, and Sydney's new Olympic logo gets the thumbs up. Details in the news at the special time of 7 o'clock.
I've spent my life finding the fastest way to get from A to B. So has Qantas. With 135 aircraft and 150,000 flights a year, carrying 16 million people, it means when you have to make important business decisions like, hey, the surf's up at Kirra, Qantas has more ways to get you there and back.
Heard the news? On Monday, Kmart will be taking 25% off all their Manchester. That's right, 25% off all Manchester. But it's for one more day only, so hurry before it's all off.
Before you buy a four-wheel drive, find out what's driving the four wheels. The finest German technology powers the new SsangYong Musso. And you can test drive it by making tracks to your Mercedes dealer.
Hi, from Paul Macquarie. These guys have just won around $1,200 on Club Keno, and we're off on a spender bender. Now, what's the going rate for a slave? Ours cost an arm and a leg. Well, it's as close as we could get to a limo, and now we're outside the restaurant.
That looks fit for a king.
Give it to him. And how's that for a tip? Now, let's give more cash to Chop. So, what are we doing here, guys?
There's going to be a lot of desperate people come Monday.
And with $150 down the pan, our total is $1,190, all from one game of Club Keno. So, we're...
Actually, I much prefer the bingo.
Tools for the 21st century. Heard the news? On Monday, Kmart will be taking 25% off all their Manchester. That's right, 25% off all Manchester. But it's for one more day only, so hurry before it's all off.
Sydney City restarting yet again. And that is Nick Zisti. He's through one, a big run down the left flank, ending at the arms of Ivan Cleary. Monday. This is Campion. Flops it back. Bartram. Right on the halfway line. Brown. Felk. 37,858 here today. Ward. Good crowd. About 4,000 short of capacity. Campion again. He's really got his sleeves rolled up. Goldthorpe running for the ball, then passing behind Bell. Bell puts a kick in. He leads the race again. Puts it on the boot. Goldthorpe had it and lost it. It's play on. Mundine. Mundine has scored. This is incredible.
Well, Mark Bell has got it on a string. He got a poor pass on the last tackle. Got the kick in. I'd just like to have a look where a couple of his support players were in relation to where he kicked the football. But Noel Goldthorpe decides to run it on the last. Goes behind Mark Bell. Keeps control of it. Slides it in behind Jorgensen beautifully. Comes through. Now, have a look on the inside as to whether Noel Goldthorpe is offside or not. Goldthorpe definitely kicks the football back, though he didn't mean to, and Mundine beats his head. I just wonder where Noel Goldthorpe was in relation to Mark Bell when he kicked.
Oh, they're not hot, they're smoking. The Dragons. Beautiful stuff. A lack of urgency shown on the inside in defence from the Roosters. This man, he can do anything today, Mark Bell.
He's okay, Goldthorpe, I reckon.
Yeah, he's all right. Then it's knocked down. Mundine's got someone coming at him, but he can see I've just got to plant the ball down.
Bartram then from close proximity. Another 2 points to the Dragons. 28-4.
Well, I guess we were due over the Qantas final series to have a game that a few points between the sides. 8's been the biggest margin leading into this match, and away St George are going, and the fact that Noel Goldthorpe had the ball knocked out and they went backward and he had 3 players there. I think that quite a scoreline is going to be in their favour at the end of this elimination game.
Spare a thought for poor old Peter Jorgensen. He's been lining up against Mark Bell all day. They've dealt the cards. He hasn't seen an ace for the last 60 minutes.
I'll tell you what, Darren Junee will have a few nightmares about big Nick Zisti running at him as well.
Logan is on. Troy is off. The St George fans absolutely loving Mundine now. Coyne. Defence converging. Flick passes to Mundine. Mundine kicks ahead and it beats him to the sideline. Yeah, they've had no luck, have they?
Well, as soon as they kicked it, I thought it was going to be a try. They are taking the chance of running the ball on the fifth. The defence is back very deep. Jorgensen not coming up when the ball started to head out, and that's danger. I thought he's going to get this and score, Mundine, but it just beat him into touch.
He's having a great game, Mark Coyne, as well, isn't he? Captain of the side, came back last weekend from a broken thumb. Oh, Mundine gets it on to Coyne.
And Brunker gets his second! St. George! Emma Smoker, they're on fire! 32-4!
It is a bushfire out of control here. And nothing going right for the Roosters. And the wingers are having real problems this afternoon. They've given Jorgensen and Juno plenty of raps this year and they've deserved it, but this afternoon, between their opposite players, they're enjoying the spoils. And Adrian Brunker, he gets another one. Bell's got two. All the backs lining up.
It's novelty day. Brunker 2 tries. And this is well done from Mark Coyne, going across the field, and then Brunker lines himself up. He starts on one angle, comes back on the other, and that forces the gap. The defence heading one way, then Brunker comes back on the inside. No one there. And he's a former State of Origin player. It was a while ago, but it's the try line.
32-4. Bartram with 4 from 7. Another 2 points. St. George 34-4.
On 60 Minutes, the hidden shame of Australian sport.
Behind closed doors, he just made the move.
Teenage athletes
I was under his spell.
exploited.
When a coach has sex with a teenager in his care.
The ultimate betrayal of trust.
He always told me, deny, deny, deny.
Fire away. And Hollywood's little big man.
I am the sickest man.
Feisty Danny DeVito.
Who wrote this
About to head down under.
Wouldn't be dead for quips.
When Toyota presents 60 Minutes tonight.
There are some things you can only see with your Optus Vision. More live games, more delayed telecasts, classic matches, more in-depth analysis from an expert commentary team, more league coverage than anywhere else, only with your Optus Vision. Now, don't you wish you had Optus Vision?
Blind.
32 offensive
Man,
foul.
good job.
You're out of the game.
Let's go get some pizza, man.
Nothing brings people together like a nice hot pizza from Pizza Hut.
I'll get it, guys.
Get your Shaq Sports bottle for $1 at
Tools for the 21st century.
Travellers once went to airports, Hong Kong or Singapore for the best duty-free deals, but now they're heading for a city where the Olympus weatherproof automatic camera with 38-105 zoom is only $439. And men's and ladies' Citizen watches 100-metre water resistant with 2-year Australia-wide warranty just $266. So what's the best city for duty-free? This city, City International Duty Free.
Australia's #1 duty-free store.
Straight out. It's going like a steam train.
So does it?
Do you mind if I smoke, Oldie?
Nothing's as good as an Oak Classic. Real taste, really creamy. Oak Classic, the break worth waiting for.
Hyundai's acceleration continues with drive-away deals.
Drive-away deals on XL Sprint.
Powerful award winners, Australia's favourites, just $14,990, no more to pay with their 3-year warranty. So don't miss Hyundai's acceleration.
Sunday night at the movies. Watch Last Action Hero for your chance to win this all-action Chrysler Neon SE worth over $26,000.
great, isn't it?
So hang on tight.
I'll be back.
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger is back.
You didn't know I was going to say that, did you?
The blockbuster of 96.
Everybody down! Don't touch!
Last Action Hero for the first time on television tonight, 8:30 on 9.
Welcome back. Gus Gould, Sydney City coach, is head down. Thompson comes back. This is Campion. Quinn is on to Bell.
We spoke to David Waite, the St George coach, before their match last week, and I asked him if he could have one area and he wanted to be better than the opposition in it, what it would be, and he said unity. And this team is Chris.
Here they go again, Pedro.
His first touch of the footy and he's through. They have been unified in everything they've done this afternoon.
Another good bust made. Wayne Bartram's having another great game tonight. He set that up lovely by going across the field and drawing Matt Singh in. And the mistake made. The Roosters are getting flogged here. It's a shame they go out in season 96 in this fashion. They don't really deserve it, but St George are really doing everything right today.
Walker. Clark. I realise that they're decimated with injuries and all of that, but St George did serve them notice back in round 11 when the Roosters went to Cogra. They'd won 10 matches on the trot and St George slammed them that day 24-8. Chance here for Sydney City. Matt Singh, and it's a try all right. Probably had to be a penalty if he didn't score it anyway.
And it was very good vision there. Nobody at home. Dean Raper was a long way from where the ball bounced. And another try from a kick. They go the short side. All right, if he frees it there, you can see that nobody at home. And play continues on. Ball going over into the corner. Dean Raper had too much ground to cover. He interferes with Matt Singh and Darren Junee supporting. Had a pretty difficult take right at the end with the last bounce.
It's the 7th try from a kick today. Ire's not a noted kicker. That's a lovely little chip put in. And just nobody home. Matt Singh got taken out, but no other support in defence there from St George.
Probably has to think about a penalty try, you know, if Junee doesn't put a hand on it. 34 points to 8. And Cleary, 20 metres out, 9 in from touch. He keeps it relatively low, but it's straight on line. 34-10. In front of a crowd of just short of 38,000. Matt Singh, it seemed, would score for sure, and I would submit that he would have given a penalty try.
Yeah, I think that would have been the option taken. Wasn't needed in the end, and Matt Singh actually packed into the last scrum in the lock forward position. We might have seen a little bit of a reshuffle in the Roosters lineup. Wayne Bartram hasn't been too often this afternoon. They've had to restart the game. Try scorer brings the ball back.
Goulet has seen little match time today. I'm just wondering if he's okay. And the knock-on has been ordered. Goulet back with the bench players. He was the man that almost single-handedly led the St George victory against the Roosters in that previous encounter. Monday showing it then to Coyne and then taking the tackle of Walker and Cleary. turning it back in. 17 is Quinn. Saints getting dangerously close again. They're on the 20-metre line. Thompson. Logan put a shoulder on him. Mundine on for Goldthorpe. 15 is Colin Ward. Ooh, that's going to bring a penalty. That's a second tackle. 28 is Scott Logan. And you see, the tackle had been made, and he comes diving over the top with a blatant late tackle, totally unnecessary, and St George will kick for goal.
The more we see of that from referees, the better for the game. So many clubs in their urgency to slow down the play, the ball gets the second man in when he's not needed. It's a shame too, because Sean Garlick had just come up with 2 rippers in defence in a row. Previous one along with Scott Logan.
Sean Garlick is technically one of the best tacklers we've seen, isn't he, Still? He gets in low and drives hard. Beautiful defender.
What's the story on Scott Goulet, Steve?
Yeah, interesting you should be talking about that. Scott Goulet, no injury at the moment, but just have a look at the St George bench and the players that have come on. Lance Thompson, outstanding young prospect. Colin Waters played well, and also Kevin Campion. So St George with plenty of strength off the bench in the forwards.
As Bartram raises the flags again. 36-10. The biggest winning margin we've seen in the final series and right through Monday night football. One of the features of the two has been the closeness of the scores. Thompson comes galloping back towards the 20-metre line. Quinn. He had the job as fullback before Dean Raper.
Some strong defence there again, but St George playing with such confidence. They're prepared to throw the football around in any situation. And we've talked about the injury problems that the Eastern Suburbs team or the Sydney City side have experienced lately. Doubts on the fitness of the likes of Ivan Cleary, Adrian Lamb, Brad Fittler. But for mine, the biggest dent to their premiership aspirations came when Hermanton and Lowry both lost in the one match. The go forward they've provided for their team this season has set the platform so often for victories, and I just don't think they've been able to reproduce that. Cleary takes the ball 25 out from his own line.
Six tries for St George. It's Riggin. Millard. Garlick. Walker. Tony Iro was there, and Quinn was sitting on top of him, really. The last, and it came off St George, who didn't play at the ball. The tackle count doesn't start again. And then Cleary's pass looked forward. It's back infield to Singh. And he throws it over and hopes for the best. Paul Dunn comes up with it. David Manson's had his own in the air for half an hour. He'll need a sling in the moment. Now Brunker.
I'll give him 100 then.
Boy. Ward. 16 minutes of this match remaining. Roy Stone. Brown. Existing with very little room to work in, but he's really given Darren Juney a torrid time out there. Brown putting a grubber kick in. Regathering it. See how close he was to the touchline. The race is on. And Juney arrives in front.
Well, when Nathan Brown has success with his kicking game, that generally is the form. A little one in behind the front line. He hasn't got a long kicking game, and that time it's for himself. Unfortunately, Darren Juney raced back in cover defence along with Matt Singh.
Ricketson now. Logan. Tony Owen handing it down, but it's been lost there by Junie. I think it might have got a touch from St George.
Well, I reckon after the game, the Roosters are in their dressing room. They'll be saying to Darren, would you like a beer, mate? He'll be saying, no, give me 3 Aspros. Because he'll have a headache today after that pounding he's copped. It was raked out, tapped out there by Colin Ward.
Well, I personally think David Manson has got no help there from the touch judge.
What about Peter Clark? I don't think I've ever seen anybody further offside. At one moment, he was back with Dean Raper at fullback for St George.
Mark Coyne just dropped a slap over the left ear. St George with Brown.
That'll hurt him.
Bartram. Mundy. Campion. Centre of the ground. 10 metres out. Leading by a country mile. Goldthorpe. Brown. Rolling it in. And the Cleary's got it over the dead ball.
Nathan Brown running for the line there. Scott Gourlay, it's a nice view. Looking on between his boots. Brown ran to the line and put it in, and then put the chase on.
So the Roosters have got the ball back from the line dropout. Good quick thinking by them. Clark. Incisive run. Gone. 18 metres out from the St George line. Garlick. Dunn. Walker. Iron. Back into land. And the number 7 has scored.
There's a bit of life for the old Roosters yet. They've been copping it all day. That's a great try. Set up and deep in their own half. Adrian Lamb finished it off nicely.
Well, it's one of the best tries we've seen over the 2 weekends, isn't it? This was the restart from the line dropout. It was very quick thinking from the Roosters with Adrian Lamb racing forward and recapturing the ball. Peter Clark made the big bust, and then he got the dummy half to find Julian Troy onto Sean Garlick, committed 2 defenders, ball eventually onto Walker, and this is a great ball from Tony Iro. He attracted a couple as well, and Adrian Lamb, who started the play, finishes at 90 metres downfield.
St George just ran out of troops here. They'd all covered. They just didn't have the numbers to control this movement from the Roosters.
So from close range, the kick was successful. 36 points to 16 at the 68th minute.
Good evening. Iraqi and Kurdish dissidents have reportedly been paid $100 million by the CIA to depose Saddam Hussein. Meanwhile, Kuwait has called on America to invade Iraq. The people of Bondi have called for tougher measures to fight the growing crime rate in their suburb. Former Olympians give the new Sydney Olympic logo the thumbs up following the launch, and an amazing escape for a pilot at an air show in America after an engine failure. Details in the news at the special time of 7 o'clock.
With an advanced 2-litre, 16-valve engine, the new Chrysler Neon is an extremely exciting performer. And its unique cab-forward design gives it a wider stance for better handling. So twisty roads are more fun than ever. Introducing the new Chrysler Neon. From $24,880, it's a car worth getting excited about. Apart from that, all she needs is plenty of rest.
Hello?
I felt tall.
You're not Julie.
Oh, sorry. She looks well, doesn't she? Auntie Mark sends all her love, and she's been at the weekend.
You slept well?
With Medibank Private Blue Ribbon Cover,
I leave you and let you have some privacy.
you can afford the additional comfort of individual treatment.
I feel better now.
tougher than hard yakka. Hard yakka. The new Chic FX Performer with its unique skin guard, lubricating strip, and even greater flexibility. Gives our closest, most comfortable shave yet. The new Chic FX Performer, changing the face of shaving.
Ralph, why doesn't their machine break down like ours does, Ralph? That's what we're here to find out, Ernie. It's the same machine as ours. I don't get it.
I do. NZ maintains it.
Get smart. Get to know NZ.
Where we've got a real edge is customer service. The cable TV units we put in people's homes are linked here to our Apple Macs. When a customer rings, we can add a movie channel, delete a sports channel, update billings, whatever. Macintosh lets us work smarter, faster, better. You might say it's an unfair advantage, but nobody ever said you got to give a competitor an even break.
Welcome to recommence. 9 tries in the game now. 11 minutes remaining. Points the margin. Sydney City running it down the ground to the 40-metre line from the restart. Iro, short ball, promoting Ricketson. Here's Walker. Walker kick. He'll score, Walker if he picks it up. Oh, it's hit the uprights and gone back.
And he's got it back. Oh, no. Well, it deserved a try.
Oh, can you believe it? Tony Iro's having a great game. A beautiful ball to Ricketson there. This is the end of it. He's just got to dive on it, pick it up, anything, tow it. He's come up with fried eggs.
Metres away from their own line. St George. With Bundy. Earlier games here today. Reserve grade went to Brisbane over South Queensland. 1916 and President's Cup. Parramatta 25. Illawarra 12. Brown again down this blind side. Nobody used the blind side more than St George under the coaching of Brian Smith. And it would seem that they still believe in it.
I think it's much more selective now, Ray, and that means that it's much more advantageous to the team.